And I can put myself up here so that I'm the main person in the video. And please feel free to ask any questions if you want as we go. There's Georgie over in his station, being my assistant. So how this is going to go today is I'm going to just talk a little bit about today's archetype, which is the Explorer Seeker. And then I'll show the demo of the background painting I did. And then I'll show my finished page and read my poem. And then we'll open it up. There's a few people who have sent me their magical child. And if anyone has magical child pages to share, we'll use the rest of our time to share those. So the Explorer Seeker archetype is the part of us that wants to, is compelled or drawn into unknown territory. So the explorer is the external version of that exploration where you're going, outside of yourself to new lands, to new experiences, to new relationships, to new activities, like anything outside of you that's new, that is totally unfamiliar. I would say even learning a new language, although I guess that might cross over into the seeker. The seeker is the part of us that explores the unknown within us. So new ideas, new beliefs, new ways of thinking. Also, accessing connection to the spiritual unseen realm. It's the unseen realm. New sensations, just anything that's more of an inner experience, an inner new ground is the seeker. So ultimately, the explorer-seeker archetype is ultimately really reaching toward the other side, toward infinity. And at a certain point in life, usually about now, I'd say, maybe early 60s, that's how old I am, you come to realize that, and I know this sounds cliche, like it's kind of a cliche, it's not about the destination, it's the journey, but eventually you look back on all your journeying and all your exploring and all your seeking, and you realize that it truly has been about the journey and all the experiences along the way. And in old age, we get to look back at all our paths that we took and kind of, realize that all that exploring and seeking is what gave our life so much richness and kind of makes us who we are. I'm not sure that there's really much else I want to say about it. I think maybe you guys all kind of know this part of yourself, but I guess I will say that for me, on a personal level, in this time of quarantine, and this didn't really come through in my journal page so much, but what I'm exploring in myself is new ways of being, especially my response in my relationships. And what I'm finding that, like, typically I act, I take action, I respond, I do something. Like if I get triggered, or if something's not right, I feel like I need to take action and do something and fix it. And for me, what I'm actually exploring is not doing anything. Like, to me, this is my exploration, or my seeking, is that of non-doing, of just sitting and being with it and holding the space, just being the container for the feelings that come up and not taking action, and just more being a presence and allowing the outer things just to kind of, you know, do their thing without me having to take action. So that's been really interesting. And like with all the archetypes right now, you know, while we're in quarantine time, it's just a great opportunity to maybe consider what unfamiliar areas of your life and yourself you want to explore. So we'll dip into that more when we go into the meditation. So I'm going to show you my the painting that I did for my journal page. Let's see here. There it is. Where is it? Okay. I guess you can hear my music. Let me turn my music down. Okay. Oh, shoot. It's not. Oh, that's this one. Hold on. I'm sorry. You guys, I have to stop this. I kind of screwed up. Why is the music still playing?
Well, you should just sit with it and let it happen, you know, don't try and fix it.
Yeah, but
We like it. We like it.
are we okay with the jazz in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is a good example. Thank you for the reminder, Lynn. I'm just accepting it and going with the outer thing that's happening. So yeah, for this background page, I just am wetting the whole thing with my big fat brush, and I'm putting a lot of water down. And it is helpful.
We can't see it.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Okay, well, we can't go that far. I'm gonna stop. Why is it still playing? This is so weird.
Maybe somebody else is playing music.
No, it's on that recording. I don't know why.
Do you have a video that's playing?
I don't see it playing.
What about from this morning? That video had music too. In the
I
morning.
know.
You might want to minimize your desktop and see if something's behind it.
Yeah, I did that. And okay, well, I got rid of it. Let me try again. Okay, can you see the video now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go again. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna use my big brush that holds a lot of water, and I'm gonna wet the whole thing. And I have out kind of a mix of the Dr. Martin's Radiant watercolors. And I'm just going to be kind of dropping them right into the wet paper. So I'm going to keep spreading this out. You want to use a good amount of water. Like I actually had to keep going back and adding more water to get the effect that I wanted. It seemed to be drying pretty quickly. So be sure to get lots of water on. And then I'm going with colors that I don't normally go with. And I'm taking the dropper and I'm dropping the, intense paint right onto the paper without diluting it and letting it just kind of merge into the paper. Just use the colors that you're intuitively drawn to. See, I had to go back in and add more water a couple times because I really want the ink to spread like that, the paint to spread. If you only have watercolors, you can still do this technique. What you'll have to do is just mix up really thick puddles of color, and you can dip your brush in and then put it right on the paper, but you're gonna have to make your colors pretty thickly mixed up with a lot of pigment. So yeah, I'm doing turquoise and purple. Now I'm gonna use my Brusho. I know some of you have the Brusho and not all of you do, but I just wanted to kind of expose you to it. And again, I used colors that I normally wouldn't use. I think this was actually a brown to get a different kind of a texture. And that's some yellow, which is the opposite of purple. So those are complementary colors. Be careful if you do use complementary colors to keep them fairly separate, because if they kind of merge together, they'll turn brown and you'll have muck.
So Clarissa,
Yeah.
I used some Brusho the other day, and it's very cool, but I didn't realize what a mess it can make.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it off the paper and it gets on your table or whatever, so people should just be sort of forewarned.
It gets on everything. So Barbara had a question about the sprinkling, and this is one way to help you contain it, is you can take a push pin. Here I'm adding a little more water. I'm wanting to get that to run a little bit. So I'm just putting some water in to get the colors to merge a bit, and you can do that. But what I did was I got a push pin and poked little holes in the top. I don't take the whole top off and sprinkle it. I just sprinkle it. Oh, the music stopped. Okay, good. Yeah, so you can let the colors run as much as you want, and then when you go in and put it when it's a little drier, then you'll have more distinct little areas of color. And I just kept going until it felt complete, and I got it pretty full. You'll want to not overdo it too much.
Carissa, I just want to say your blouse in this video is so beautiful. It looks like something you would have painted.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Brusho. Somebody just asked you too.
yeah, Jeannie wants to know what Brusho is. So Brusho is a dry, water-soluble pigment that comes in these little containers. It's basically just the dry pigment that makes up watercolor. And you can see how when you sprinkle it onto the wet paper, how it kind of explodes in colors. It's just kind of a fun medium to have, especially if you're working in watercolor a lot. it can really create a magical effect.
I mean, not that, Katie would like this.
Yeah,
Would really like
yeah,
this.
yeah. Did she get out of the art class?
Oh,
She-
yeah,
the
yeah,
water
yeah,
code
yeah,
class?
she did.
So she just.
Somebody needs to mute themselves. Yeah, I'm kind of just, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making lines go into the purple. You know, you
Looks
just
like this
really follow your intuition with this.
A question, Carissa, from Catherine.
I was thinking-
How are you liking that new art journal with doesn't have a spiral?
I like
Is it leaking through to the? I mean, that always irritated me.
No, I'm loving my new journal. I'm loving not having that spiral in the middle because I can
Okay.
really make it all one page now. I'm really loving my new journal.
Can you
And-
tell me again at the end what it was, the brand?
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
yeah, I'm really liking it a lot. I'm probably going to just switch over to this. It's a Strathmore watercolor paper. I think they call it a sketchbook. It's the 400 series Strathmore watercolor paper, and it was about the same cost as the other one. Okay, it looks like my video's done. So now I'm,
The question.
uh-huh.
So, were you thinking anything about Explorer and Seeker when you did what you've done so far, or could this be the background for any piece?
The reason why I went with this style background is because it's kind of unknown. When you paint like this, it's unknown territory because it's kind of considered process painting where you're just putting the paint down and letting it do its thing and discovering where it goes, seeing where it goes. Like, I did not really control this, you know, I just dropped the paint down and the paint did its thing. So that's why I went with this style of painting for the Explorer.
Thank you.
I mean, I think this could work. This could have worked with Magical Child. I'm not sure it would work with the Nurturer or Next Week's Lover or some of the other ones, but that was my thinking behind it.
Thanks.
Okay, so here's my spread, what I came up with. The woman on the right, the light is reflecting on her and it's hard to see, but she's holding up a globe with a red rose and it says female arousal is what it says on the box. And then the map is a map of Doggerland. I had my 23andMe, my maternal line actually comes from Doggerland, which is under the sea. So I'll go ahead and read my poem for this. Oh, and also I wanted to invite you guys, what I did was the left side is my Explorer and the right side is my Seeker. So the left side is kind of the outer exploration and the right side is more the inner seeking. I am an explorer healing the mother wound on a reunion journey with the feminine soul and innermost self, connecting with the ancestral maternal line of my Celtic roots in Avalon and Doggerland under the sea. I am she. I am a seeker of the paradise of the garden within, the oasis of my body, where the red rose of female arousal opens to be penetrated and irrigated by the eternal beloved. I am body bliss, vessel of Kundalini. Okay, so that's my Explorer Seeker. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the actual journal page before I
If
go
you
into
read that, If you read that to your partner, I'm sure it turned him on.
You know, I tend not
Very
to.
sexy.
I tend not to share. I think I like partners who don't show that much interest or curiosity in what I'm doing. Because really, this is my, I don't, I know some people share their journals with their partners or their family, but you guys are the only ones I share it with. Yeah, I don't really share it he walked by me when I was writing this poem yesterday, and he saw me with I was sitting on the couch drinking my tea, and he saw me with the open journal and writing, and he just looked at me like trying to figure out what I'm doing. And I said, oh, I'm just writing a poem to go with my journal. But he never says, oh, let me see your journal, or, oh, will you read me your poem? He's just like, oh, okay. But you know what? That's fine with me.
Teresa, so the female on the right that's holding the globe, where did you cut that out, right?
Yeah, I cut her out from a magazine, and then I pasted the rose inside the globe. It was an ad for, I think, perfume, and there was a bottle of perfume in there, so I put a red rose on top of it. And right here where the words female arousal, I think it said whatever, Chanel or whatever, and so I covered that up with female arousal. So you can, collage on top of your images to go over things or to make it more personalized.
It looks so blended. How do you blend it? Is it part of that brush that you're just showing us? Did you do it on top of the female, or it just looks so blended?
Which part looks blended? You mean the painting?
Yeah, the female that's holding the globe, her blouse.
That's just a question of where you place it. It was just the way I placed her. You kind of want to think about placement. And what I always suggest, the first thing to do is decide what areas of the painting are your least favorite and try to cover those with your images. But yeah, I want you to kind of notice how, my images are overlapping each other and they're kind of relating, like the owl is kind of diving down into the map, and the map is kind of inserting into these natives running on the path. This yoga girl is kind of looking up, kind of looking up at the woman. So you kind of want to, tell a little bit of a narrative when you do this.
I'm interested in your process. Do you go through pictures and magazines, and when you see things that appeal to you or kind of fit in your framework, you pull them out? I mean, you didn't set out looking for an owl, I assume.
No, I already had that. I think I had all of these images already in my fodder. So my soul had pre-selected these images for me a long time ago. And I just went through and selected images that, and I didn't know why the owl wanted to be there. I didn't even know what this page was all about, what this Explorer was all about. And then I realized, I had that experience of the owl in my heart a couple of sessions ago when I did that somatic meditation. And then I spent the night at my girlfriend's and there was an owl. Anyways, I noticed how this owl has like a heart shaped on its face. And the owl is a symbol for feminine wisdom, and then this whole thing with my Celtic ancestry. I realized this is about the return to the feminine ancestral roots. And then this one, I don't know. The thing is that the images will reveal to you what it's all about after, but you just kind of trust your guidance in terms of what wants to be there. And sometimes you go by just the color, you know, the color, like she's got this pink and red on and she's in this pink red area, and the red boots, you know, and the red rose. You just kind of go with the colors, and then, oh yeah, red rose, like female arousal, you know.
So the poem, we're supposed to do a poem, right?
Yeah.
And then do we do the poem to reflect the side-by-side inner and outer? Or
Yeah,
do
so I did I am an explorer, blah, blah, blah. And then I did I am a seeker, blah, blah, blah. So I am, you know, an explorer. And then you just kind of go through your imagery and state what that is, and that these are all parts of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so this project is called Explorer Seeker Archetype.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garza, would you mind reading your poem one more time, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it okay that I don't have the page up?
Okay, I sort of wanted to see how. like,
Okay,
the
sure. Let
floor-
me do that again.
And then can I ask you a question?
Sure.
On your left side where the L is, that's the explorer side?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And then
on the right is my seeker.
Okay, perfect. Because then now when you read your poem, I can sort of like see the story behind it, you know?
Yeah, but even though I'm an explorer, I do talk about the innermost self and the soul. So I do, you know, to me, outer exploration, I like, they're not really separate for me. I like, in general, the explorer is more looking outside into the physical realm, and the seeker is more into the spiritual realm. But to me, they're all one anyway. But anyways, you can see the page now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll read my poem again. So I'm starting with the left. I am an explorer, healing the mother wound, on a reunion journey with the feminine soul and innermost self, connecting with the ancestral maternal line of my Celtic roots in Avalon and Doggerland under the sea. I am she. And now I'm moving over to the right side. I am a seeker of the paradise of the garden within, the oasis of my body, where the red rose of female arousal opens to be penetrated and irrigated by the eternal beloved. I am body bliss, vessel of Kundalini.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Really pretty.
Mhm.
Thanks, you guys.
Mhm.
Okay, so hopefully that kind of helps set the tone.
I have a question, Carissa.
Okay.
I was just thinking about how to store these things. So there's the visual, and then there's the poem. And is there any recommendation for, I want to keep it all together, so.
Yeah, what I do, I just have these loose, small kind of pieces of paper with my poem, and I'm just sticking it in my book
Mhm.
and closing it.
So you're keeping it together.
Yeah, I'm just keeping
Okay.
each one just tucked inside loosely. I mean, you could paper clip it on, or you
Okay.
could actually even write it into the sky or somewhere on your page. But I'm just keeping them for now on loose pieces of paper, just stuck in here so that I can take it out and read it if I want to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, Lois, I have the blouse on that you brought me from Mexico.
Oh, good. Thank you. Not as snazzy as that colorful one you painted in, but thank you. I'm glad you're wearing it.
I love
I have
it.
a question, if I may.
Sure.
I'm wondering, would it be a good idea to skip a page so that you're not like having watercolor on the back of your other thing we just did? No
It
need.
doesn't go through. If you get the 140-pound paper, so here's the back side of my Explorer page,
Oh, okay, okay,
and it absolutely does not go through.
okay,
Because
perfect.
it's really good quality paper. That's the nice thing, is you can paint on both sides of it. No problem.
What a beautiful book you have there.
Yeah, this one's really, I love my new journal. I'm so glad they ran out of the other ones.
But you know what does help are sheets of wax paper between the pages so that there's no sticking to itself or to lessen that.
Okay, yeah, if you do that. I mean, I don't feel like I need it, but whatever works for you. And it depends on what kind of glue you're using, especially if you're using Mod Podge or gel medium, you definitely want to have some kind of wax paper. But I think I paste, right now I'm just using a glue stick. So it's not, yeah, so Christiane is writing in. So she skips a page, doesn't paint on the back of artwork, and she tapes the poems onto the blank side. So that's, or you could even write the poem on the back. So that's another way. I'm just more economical with using my paper. So I'm wanting to get the most out of my money that I can from my journal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lead us into meditation now, unless anybody has any other questions about that. So Renelle, I'm recording this right now, and I'll be posting it onto the YouTube at Carissa Luminez. So if you just go to the YouTube and type in my name, and it will say Art Journal, May 27th. Okay, so let's settle in to connect with our Explorer Seeker archetype. So just I'm gonna grab a pillow. So let's settle back into our chairs. And just instantly allow gravity to just soften you down and ground down into the support of the chair and the ground holding you. And just feel the support. Literally bring your attention back, down, and in. And just sink way, way, way down. Breathe into your lower belly. And consciously release any tension. And just reel yourself back into your center, back into your core. Any tendrils that have been outside of you, just literally call them back to your home, to your center. And as you ground down, feeling yourself connected to the earth, imagine all the different parts of your life surrounding you in a circle. So you've got your home life, your work life, your family life, your social life, your exercise routine, your spiritual practice, your intellectual realm, all the different activities, all the different areas of your life that make up your days. Just see them all in a circle, placed in a circle around you, surrounding you. And once they fill that space, and you can feel how large the perimeter is that needs to contain them, visually in your imagination, draw a circle around those areas as like a perimeter containing your life. And just feel into that circle. You are in the middle of the circle, surrounded by your experiences. Now I want you to tune in to what areas of your life or your nature, your being, are you feeling compelled to break out of the circle into unknown territory, to expand to new places, to grow, to explore, to seek the unknown? And just notice what areas call you. And as you see this or get this in your knowing, just open up the outer edge of the circle where that area is and allow it to spill out. Allow a new path to open up where you can push that boundary and go into an unknown realm in that area of your life. And see how that feels to go into uncharted territory in this area. You'll probably notice a mix of excitement and maybe a little bit of nervousness. And just allow those feelings to be in you and stay open to the possibilities that present themselves. And just trust that this exploration will lead to greater wisdom, maybe some newfound joy, and perhaps some more abundance. And you can let that go. Trust that that opening is underway. And come back to the center of your circle. Find yourself in the middle again, in your own center. Grounded in the middle of your own life. And notice, is there another area? Now that I've opened up this one area and it was okay and I got that going, are there any other areas that are calling my attention, that are wanting to become less stagnant, maybe? Maybe they need some irrigation. They need some air. And gently make a little opening in the circle for that area. And let it spill out into the unknown, into the new territory. Trusting that it will take you where you need to go, and just the right resources and opportunities and support will show up as needed. And kind of like a ball rolling down a hill, once you get this started, you can kind of just let it go and it will find its own way. And let's come back into the circle one more time. Plant yourself in the middle. Feel your life in the circle around you. And maybe there's one other aspect of your life that's wanting to break into new territory. Tune into that. Find where it is in your circle. And again, just gently open up a gate or a gap in the perimeter and allow that area to spill out into the unknown. See how the momentum of just even setting that intention almost gives it its own thrust. Notice yourself being filled with the excitement of new possibilities, new potentials, new experiences, new fulfillments, new connections. And breathe in the satisfaction of knowing that you are going to grow by leaps and bounds with these openings in new areas of your life. And feel the contentment of that, the satiation of that, the gratification. And trust in these new paths, these new unexplored areas of your life will lead to fruition and wonderment. And yes, sometimes challenge, but also much greater potential for fulfilling the magnificence of who you are. And we give thanks to the explorer seeker in all of us and do our best to honor that need for going into the unknown, the mystery, and we'll come back into our circle.